This is Sky High Viral. Our thoughts are with everyone affected by today's violence. What you're about to hear reflects the best available reporting as of airtime. Facts may change as authorities release more information. You are listening to Sky High Viral, where we cut through the noise and focus on facts. Today in Orem, Utah at Utah Valley University, conservative activist and Turning Point USA founder Charlie Kirk was shot and killed during a campus event. Law enforcement quickly converged on the scene, the campus was locked down, and a person of interest was later reported in custody as the investigation moved forward. Officials emphasized the situation was fluid and that they would release details as they are confirmed. Witnesses describe a large outdoor crowd gathered under a white canopy on a grassy courtyard. What began as a typical university event was shattered by gunfire. At this hour, authorities have not publicly released a full timeline, the specific weapon type, or a confirmed motive. Charlie Kirk was a nationally known conservative voice. He founded Turning Point USA in his early 20s, building it into a large youth-oriented organization with chapters on campuses across America. He became a frequent speaker, podcaster, and television guest, known for championing limited government and combative advocacy for free speech on college campuses. To his supporters, Kirk was a mobilizer who energized young conservatives. To critics, he was a polarizing figure who inflamed culture war battles. Whichever way you saw him, his influence was undeniable. Utah Valley University, where the shooting took place, is the largest public university in the state, known for its fast growth and wide range of campus events. Today, its focus was safety and cooperation with law enforcement. Eyewitnesses reported confusion, then a rush to safety as police secured the area. Investigators are now conducting interviews, collecting video, and analyzing evidence. Officials confirmed that a person of interest is in custody, but urged patience as the process unfolds. When incidents like this occur, the priorities are clear. Stop the threat, secure the scene, treat the injured, and communicate clearly. In the coming days, expect questions about venue security, prior threats, and whether protocols were sufficient. These details emerge slowly, not in the first hours. This tragedy also touches the larger debate about free speech and security on campuses. Universities are marketplaces of ideas, and hosting controversial speakers is part of their role. Most events proceed peacefully, but when large crowds and hot topics collide, planning and security become critical. The First Amendment protects political speech, even when it offends. At the same time, safety measures must anticipate worst-case scenarios. Today's violence underscores how fragile that balance can be. Here is what is confirmed at this hour. Charlie Kirk was fatally shot during an event at Utah Valley University in Orem, Utah. A person of interest is in custody. The investigation is active, and university officials have emphasized full cooperation with police. What we do not yet know is the precise sequence of events, the identity of the suspect, or the motive behind the attack. Charlie Kirk's impact stretched far beyond today's event. He connected campus activism with national politics, speaking at conferences, aligning with prominent figures, and sparking both enthusiasm and outrage. His death will ripple across Turning Point USA, across university administrations reviewing event security, and across the national conversation about political violence. Moments like this test our civic culture. The right to argue and persuade must be defended, but the line is crossed the moment rhetoric legitimizes violence. Leaders across the spectrum bear responsibility to keep disagreements fierce but peaceful. Today's events are a reminder that words exist to resolve conflicts without bloodshed. In the days ahead, watch for law enforcement briefings on the timeline and charges. Expect Utah Valley University to outline counseling services and policy changes. Turning Point USA will respond to the loss of its founder, and political leaders nationwide will weigh in. For now, verified information is what matters. What we know now, in addition, builds a clearer picture of the aftermath, the people involved, and the broad implications. Charlie Kirk's death has shocked both political and educational institutions. Turning Point USA issued a brief statement expressing grief and calling for peace, urging followers not to jump to conclusions. University officials at Utah Valley University have canceled the rest of this week's events and called for counseling and support services for students, faculty, and staff who witnessed the shooting. Campus security is under scrutiny. Questions are being raised about whether there were prior threats against Kirk, whether screening and barricade procedures were adequate, and whether the layout of the venue allowed for safe evacuation. Law enforcement is investigating multiple leads. While a person of interest is in custody, it is not publicly known whether that individual has been formally charged. Investigators are reportedly reviewing social media for any threats to Kirk, examining surveillance camera footage from all angles, gathering ballistic evidence, and speaking with witnesses. Aerial drone footage is also being examined to establish the shooter's vantage point and movement before the incident. As of this hour, authorities have released few details about the suspect's identity. Age, motivations, or affiliations remain private. There are rumors circulated online that the shooter may have harbored ideological hatred or grievance, whether political, personal, or influenced by recent social tensions. But no confirmation yet from law enforcement. Fake speculation is already spreading, and some outlets are making unverified claims. We urge everyone to wait for official sources. In terms of motive, investigators are considering several possibilities. First, that this was a targeted attack, someone with a personal vendetta against Kirk. Second, that it could be politically motivated, given Kirk's controversial public role and frequent engagement in polarizing topics. Third, a possibility of unstable individuals acting alone, fueled by social media invective. But today, those remain speculative. No concrete evidence has yet connected any declared ideology or group to the crime. Public reaction has been immediate and strong. Some political figures have publicly condemned the act, calling for unity and mourning and emphasizing that violence must never be the response to words. Others are demanding investigations into campus event security policies across the board. Students, both supportive and critical of Kirk, are sharing fear, anger, and confusion. Online memorials and hashtags have already begun to appear, expressing both sorrow and calls for justice. In the hours since the tragedy, media outlets are debating how this will affect free speech in public spaces. Some argue that this could chill speech, that future speakers may decline invitations, fearing for their safety. Others hope to see increased protections for public figures, especially those who frequently engage in controversial debate. Security firms are being asked about what protocols might now become standard at speaking events. Bag checks, metal detectors, perimeter fencing, more robust crowd control, and coordination with local police months in advance of scheduled speaking engagements. Legal experts are also speculating on how charges may be structured. If FBI or federal authorities determine that threats preceded the event, or that interstate communication played a role, the crime may become a federal matter. If hate speech or harassment are found linked to the assailant's motive, enhanced penalties may apply. Civil suits by victims' families could also emerge, especially regarding negligence in security obligations. From a historical standpoint, this moment echoes past crises in free speech. When public figures are attacked, societies often respond with both tighter security and tighter laws, sometimes at the cost of openness. The challenge now will be to uphold the principle that ideas, however disagreeable, should be resolved through words, not through bullets. Sky High Viral will continue to track verified updates, official statements from police, Turning Point USA, Utah Valley University, and any new evidence or charges. We'll also bring you interviews with security experts and those at the event who witnessed what happened. Charlie Kirk's legacy will now be weighed not just in his speeches, but in how the nation responds. Whether we safeguard free expression, whether we learn from this tragedy to make public events safer, whether we ensure that voices are not silenced by violence. His story ends tonight, but the debate he stoked on speech, on controversy, on bold confrontation, that must continue. Thank you for staying informed. Thank you for demanding truth. This is Sky High Viral speaking up so you don't have to believe rumors. Good night.